number of Indian staff members in its diplomatic missions across India due to shortage of Canadian personnel necessary for the effective management of in-country operations. So these are the latest inputs that we are tracking right now. This move comes in response to India's expulsion of 41 Canadian diplomats last year, which aimed to achieve parity in diplomatic presence. Now, Canada High Court spokesperson has said the decision to implement reductions across our network of missions in India was sadly necessary given the reduction of Canadian staff available to effectively manage and maintain in-country operations. So these are the latest inputs we are tracking in from Canada. Joining us on the broadcast is our colleague Abhishek Jha. Very good morning, Abhishek. What more details do we have about these diplomatic conflicts and present that we are getting reports on?
Well, Kohina, we know that since this bilateral ties have not been faring well in the last few months, there have been dozens of Canadian diplomats who were sent back to Canada, and since then, the staffers who used to assist them in their functioning in Delhi, they didn't have much of work, and probably they were expecting that the two sides were expecting that things will smoothen up and they'll come back again, but it doesn't look like new diplomats from Canadian side are going to come back to India at this point of time. And having seen this delay, it looks like Canadian High Commission has now decided to let go several officer staff, and these downsizing has happened across the country. In its message that we have got access to, the Canadian High Commission's Media Relations Department has said that they are confirming that the government of Canada has implemented some office staff reduction across the network of missions in India. We remember about 40 Canadian diplomats were sent back last year when the two sides, India and Canada, had this tug of war on the issue of killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar.
Right.
And the Indian side had said that Canadian diplomats were performing their duties which were beyond their diplomatic mandate. So since then, the staffers have been in India, have been very less in numbers. However, the Canadian side has maintained that the visa application and the functional work that the embassies and High Commission and the other missions are supposed to do, they are performing normally, but they have stopped at some point the physical verification of visa application. So most of these works are happening online now.
Right. Abhishek, help us also understand what is the reasons that are being cited by Canada's High Commission behind this decision, and how many of Indian staffers members have been reduced from Canada's diplomatic missions?
Well, while we understand that about 40 diplomats, since these diplomats were sent back, so probably the kind of staffers who were attached to these diplomats, they didn't have much of function directly, and that could be one of the reasons. However, the Canadian side has not cited any reason why they have let go so many people across their networks in India in several missions. The numbers of staffers are also not being disclosed as to how many exactly these people have been laid off. But we know that the numbers could run in dozens across the mission. Remember, Canada has about 4 or 5 missions across the country, and several of these missions have been performing without senior diplomats for a very long time now, for a few months, of course. And the Canadian side has, though, confirmed that Canada's visa application centers in India are operating as normal. Most of work has gone online, and the physical work which these diplomats used to have, and the other functionalities, other verticals of functions that these diplomats used to perform, they have been, of course, implemented. But the majority of work and the majority of people's concern is about the visa application process, that the Canadian High Commission has assured that these functions are happening at the normal pace.
Right, Abhishek, thank you so much for bringing in all those details. We'll keep continuing to track this story as the day progresses.